What's going on, everyone? It's Destroy here with a new video. Today's video, we are just going to go over the defensive position. My opinion, this is probably one of the harder decisions to make a defense this week. Some options seem pretty good. Some options seem pretty bad now. But yeah, it's interesting week. Defenses sometimes make or break teams. Most of the time they don't. They just add a little bonus. But yeah, let's just get into it. We got two teams over 4K. Dallas against the Jets. In my honest opinion, this is a defense that you have to avoid. They're going to play a Jets team with Sam Darnold back, unless Sam Darnold goes back to last year and just has one of his terrible games. Cowboys defense isn't going to be too good. They're still down Byron Jones. They're down now both safeties, I believe. And they're playing a Jets team that wants to do good, especially with Le'Veon Bell. And we saw how good-ish, if you want to say, Sam Darnold was week one. Crowder with the 14 receptions. So yeah, I'm not too high in Dallas's 4.3K defense. And their way too, which a little worrisome, but yeah. 4100 Baltimore against Cincinnati. The only reason I would like this is Cincinnati's offense is just plain out terrible, but at the same time, Baltimore has a lot of injuries on defense, so it's kind of iffy here if you do want to go Baltimore. Like I said, they're playing just an atrociously bad offense, but it has shown signs of life. Still without Ross, still without AJ Green. Mixon has not looked the best. So Ravens, if you're gonna pay above 4K for defense this week, go Baltimore. Seahawks are a little worrisome. Not much on their side, but Cleveland side, because we've seen what Cleveland can do, good and bad. And if they do good against a Seattle defense that's going to be on the road, being home definitely would make me favor the Seahawks a lot more. But with them being on the road against Cleveland, it's really just a coin flip. Just depends on how well Baker Mayfield plays. So yeah, that one's really a coin flip. Not too high on it. Um, you have the Rams against San Francisco. 3,300. San Francisco's offense has looked pretty good. They now have their three-headed dragon running back with Coleman, Breida, and Mostart. So, yeah, Rams defense has not looked the best. Aaron Donald, in my opinion, can have a really good game. Might get you a couple sacks, couple points on the board, and they might hold San Francisco to a low point. But we've also seen that Rams defense give up 55 points at the same time. So, not too high on the Rams here either. Saints, the only way that I would like the Saints here is if they are home, and that's a maybe. They're going to be at Jacksonville, going against Gardner Minshew, who's looked really good this season. Not elite level, but looked good. And Leonard Fournette is actually running the football like he should be. So I'm not taking the Saints here. I love Gardner Minshew. I'm going to get some Gardner Minshew plays this weekend. But I just like that offense. Yeah, I just like Jacksonville's offense too much here to go New Orleans. Redskins is just a big maybe. I know a lot of people are high on them just because of how they played against New England last week, and they could very well have another good game. They're playing, the worst offense in football, and Washington has a terrible offense too, and both defenses are terrible. But I mean, you're showing signs of life last week against New England. They got 4 sacks and they got a pick off Brady. They only got 5 points. They played the Giants a couple weeks ago, and Daniel Jones definitely lit them up. So not too high in the Redskins either. Denver, with Chubb being out, the amount of sacks that defense can give you is limited. The only way this defense gives you points is by takeaways. They do have one of the best corners this season, and Chris Harris Jr. locking everybody down. But Tennessee is another team that we've seen their offense do good, and we've seen their offense do really bad. So I don't hate Denver here. But like I said, with Chubb being out, you really need takeaways, and Mariota is not really somebody that is a big giveaway person. But you never know. Like I said, they're not a bad play. Eagles against Minnesota. I honestly think Kirk Cousins has another good game. Philly's defensive play last week was, if you played them, by all means, good job. They're not going to do that same thing again this week. They're not going to get 10 sacks against two backup linemen and a third string quarterback. They're playing against a Minnesota team that I honestly think is going to click on all cylinders, especially if Thielen plays. So yeah, don't love that. Tennessee's defense, maybe I would take them. 2,900. They've had some good games. Really haven't seen any crazy games from other offenses. The most points they've allowed all season is 20 against Jacksonville, which is scary because it was Jacksonville at the time. And Leonard Fournette had negative yards going into like the last 5 minutes and had a 6-yard rush. And Denver's offense can click. I've seen it with Emmanuel Sanders, the two running backs of Lindsey and Freeman, and then Cortland Sutton, if he plays. I would definitely go Tennessee over a lot of other defenses because they can get sacks, they can get turnovers, they can get a lot. So definitely Tennessee would probably be my favorite around here. Browns against Seattle. Russell Wilson's just on fire, and Carson looks really good too. In Cleveland, without their defensive backs, just doesn't make me want to pick them as much as other defenses. And we've seen how the Browns defense has been. They've given us 13, 9, 10, and then at other times 3 and 0. So not one of my favorites. No interest in Miami's defense. It's supposed to be a tank bowl, but Case Keenum can throw the ball. We've seen it. And I've heard some things that they want to get Adrian Peterson a lot of looks this week. So definitely don't love Miami here. San Fran, Brandon Cooks is out. Todd Gurley's out. This defense has looked good. 2,700 is not a bad price. We've seen them give up 20 points. Granted, we haven't seen a real contest like they are against the Rams. Jared Goff is not a spectacular quarterback by all means, but he does have Cooper Kupp. And he does have Robert Woods. San Fran actually is probably one of my favorite defenses this week. They get a lot of takeaways. They get to the quarterback. And they don't give up a lot of yards, especially in the rush game. Brown is supposed to have a good workload. I could see him having a good game. It's just the 49ers rush defense is way too good. And I really can't see Brown getting over 100 yards here. So definitely a lot of love for San Francisco. Minnesota's defense facing Philly's offense. I just haven't seen Minnesota's defense fully click. And that's the only reason I don't love them here is, granted, the most points they've allowed is 21. But you never seen a really good fantasy takeoff from them. And Carson Wentz is just somebody who clearly will be consistent. Their offense didn't look too good last week against the Jets defense. But the Jets defense, in my opinion, just has a better defense than Minnesota. So not totally in love with Vikings defense. I'd rather go 100 more and pick the 49ers. The Chiefs avoid this game at all costs. Texans, Chiefs. Neither one has a really good defense, and it's more likely going to be a shootout. Atlanta against Arizona, terrible. The only other defense, we're only going to talk about one more defense here, maybe two. We'll talk about two. Jacksonville 2,200 against New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater just had a crazy good game. Michael Thomas had a crazy good game, but they're playing a terrible defense. Jacksonville has a really good defense. I do believe Jalen Ramsey's going to be out, so that kind of gets that love from them away. But I mean, this week, the week against Tennessee, what I seen against that team, I can honestly see against New Orleans. It's just a big if. Plus, they're only 2,200, so if they get you 10 or less, it's not going to kill you. Just because you paid so cheap for them that it opens up a lot more plays for every other position. The only other team I'm going to talk about here, guys, is the Jets defense. The reason being is we have not seen them go below 4. Philly, the only reason they allowed so many points, granted they only got charged with 19. Their offense just is so terrible, but now they have Sam Darnold back, and this is what we saw week 1. Granted, Dallas has got a way better offense than Buffalo, but Dallas is still without Tyrone Smith. C.J. Mosley's still out. But 1,500, like I said, for a team that's not got below 4, I mean they allow points. They allow passing yards at times, but for 1,500, are they really going to kill you if they get 4 points? 1,500, the average defense, let's say about 3.3, somewhere around there. If you're paying 1,500 for a defense, that opens up a lot of salary. That opens up about 1,500 more salary for you to mess around with teams. So definitely take a look at the Jets. Not a terrible play in my opinion. Anyway, guys, that's it for the video. If you did enjoy the video, please leave us a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on Twitter at Astrodfs. And I will see you in the next video.